Hello everyone, Paul here. In this episode, I'm going to introduce you to the form of manifestation meditation that is backed by science. This is going to help you to achieve any kind of success that you're looking for. But to begin with, we need to calm the mind. So let's close our eyes and take a deep breath in through the nose to a count of 4. And pause for 4. Breathe out of the mouth for 4. And pause for 4. And repeat, breathing in through the nose and pausing, and out of the mouth. And pausing and continuing. Now we'll start by setting our intention. And so repeat after me. No matter what I might have been doing up to now, no matter what I might be doing later, for now, for this short little while, the only thing that I need to do is breathe and meditate. And I'm going to be quiet for a short while to allow you just to focus on your breath. Now, the reason we need to calm the mind first is because when your mind is calm and in that deeply relaxed, meditative state, the suggestions that you implant in your subconscious will resonate more, and that will make our manifestation more powerful. So we'll take just a few more mindful breaths. Now we're going to bring to mind the form of success that we are going to manifest. Now take your time in choosing what it is that you would like to manifest. This is important because as you explore different things that you might manifest, you are creatively discovering possible avenues for your future successes. And so take your time to choose the form of success that you would like to manifest. Now begin to paint this picture of success in your mind. And there's going to be one little secret that I'm going to give you in just a moment. For now, just visualize what it would look like if you were successful in your goal. Fill in the details, visualizing where you would be, who you would be with, what you would be doing, and so on. Now here is the first little trick that we want to use. The reason why manifestation often doesn't work and the scientific solution. So as you are visualizing what your success looks like, I want you to deliberately remind yourself that this is just a visualization that you are using to help yourself see a future goal. Now, the exact wording there doesn't matter too much, but what you must do is remind yourself that the visualization you are seeing is not reality. It is a vision designed to motivate you and to clarify what success looks like. I will explain why that is so important in just a moment, but for now, just continue to visualize your success and remind yourself that it is just a vision. Now I'll explain why that is so important. It might have seemed counterintuitive to remind yourself that that vision is not real and is indeed just a vision, but it is critical. When you vividly visualize something in your mind comes to believe that it is real. And because of that, your mind incorrectly presumes that you don't need to do anything to make that vision happen because, well, it already has happened. And that is one of the biggest issues with your regular run-of-the-mill manifestation meditation. Instead, you clearly want to say to your mind, look, this is what I want my success to look like, but this is just a vision that I'm showing to my mind for the sake of clarity and motivation. And so we'll spend a couple more moments just visualizing our success, reminding ourselves that it is just a vision. Now, I want you to say to your mind, we are going to create this vision. Just repeating that after me. We are going to create that vision. And now we'll come to the next step. Just continue mindfully breathing now. You can let go of that vision momentarily. Just continue to observe your breath. In the next step, we are going to show the mind the steps that we need to take in order to make our success happen. And this is critical so often in those sort of falsified manifestation meditations, you're told that your success will fall into your lap. Well, not only is that not true, but it wouldn't be good. We want to create our success for ourselves through our actions, and not to mention science and sheer logic says that we must visualize the actions that we must take to create that success. Now, one at a time, bring to mind an action that you will take to make your success happen. And if you lose your way, just return to your breath. We use the breath to calm and clear the mind, to help us focus. And then we choose one action that we will do, and we vividly visualize doing it. And so all that we are doing is visualizing one action that we will do to make our success happen. And if we lose focus, we simply use the breath as our anchor. And now we'll go to our next action. Choose another action that you will take to make your success happen, and vividly visualize it. And so we're just vividly visualizing the action we will take to create our success. And now let's let go of that and once again return to the breath. Just observing the breath flowing through the body. And as you continue to mindfully breathe, I'll explain the next step. And for me, this is the biggest secret and the biggest part where many people go wrong. When you're visualizing the actions that you will take to create your success, you might have noticed that your mind brings up certain objections. For instance, perhaps there are things that you will need to do to make your success happen, but you feel anxious or uncomfortable about them. Perhaps there's little aspects of your plan that you're not actually looking forward to, but that you know that you have to do. Many people try to ignore those parts, but what we shall do instead is to acknowledge them and visualize overcoming them. Don't worry, this is a lot. I'm going to explain this in detail as we go through. Now, again, bring to mind an action that you will take to make your success happen. Begin to vividly visualize doing that action. Now notice if there is resistance or an objection in your mind For instance, there might be part of what you have to do that you feel nervous about or something like that. If your mind brings up an objection to what you must do to create success, acknowledge that objection, acknowledge the hurdle that you will have to overcome, and then visualize overcoming the hurdle. I will explain this one more time, as it is a little bit in depth, but it is also what science says we must do. So, we are aware of the success that we're trying to create, and we are visualizing the actions that we must take to make that success happen. From time to time, there might be a part of those actions that the mind objects to. Acknowledge those objections or those challenges or those hurdles, and then visualize overcoming those hurdles. This is the biggest, most important part of this whole process. If you do not visualize overcoming your challenges, if you simply ignore your challenges, you will not be successful. Acknowledge the challenges and visualize overcoming them. Remember, you can use your breath if things start to feel a bit muddy, you lose focus, you lose clarity. Use your breath to clear your mind and to refocus, and then go back to visualizing overcoming your challenges. Now, in order to illustrate this, I am going to give you an example, which is the meditation that I myself have been doing. As you might know, if you follow me, I am incredibly passionate as a meditation teacher, and for me, my success is having a constant stream of people taking lessons with me, reaching out to me, asking me questions, and simply essentially helping as many people with meditation as I possibly can. So I'm visualizing doing that, and then telling myself the actions that I must take to make that happen. One of which is creating content like this and doing it consistently. Now, my mind objects to that in some ways. In some ways I really love doing this, but in some ways my mind objects. For instance, my mind objects by telling me that I struggle to be consistent in producing my content, and so I'm visualizing how I'm going to be more consistent in doing that, thereby being more productive and being more consistent in my actions that would generate my goal. That was not as clearly expressed as I would have liked, if I'm honest with you. But essentially, you're simply visualizing your goal, visualizing the actions that will create your goal. When your mind objects to something, acknowledge the objection and visualize overcoming it. And that is what science says will work as a form of manifestation. But I would also like to point out that I don't like the word manifestation, because I think that it sort of gives the impression that we're not taking the action or doing the work ourselves to create our success. We must acknowledge that we, through our actions, are the ones creating our success, not that it is simply manifesting itself into our laps. And Feel free to just return to your breath. And in your own time, just slowly come back to now. And that is about as close a scientific manifestation as you can get. Of course, there is little science suggesting that we can simply manifest things. I want $1 million, please, thank you. But what we can do is we can clearly say to the mind, this is what we're looking for. And that's huge, because one of the major problems is that we simply don't communicate clearly with the mind. So we can say to ourselves, look, this is a picture of what I want. And we remind the mind, this isn't happening right now. It's just a picture of what I want. These are the actions that we're going to do to create that. And then having a positive relationship with your mind, saying, look, I know that there's some parts of this that we're not comfortable with, but we're going to get through it. We're going to get through the challenges, to take the actions, to cultivate success. And that is the scientific way that manifestation works. I hope that you've enjoyed this. If you have any questions or comments, please leave me a comment below. If you would like to work with me privately, please do so on thedailymeditation.com. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.